welcome to the show. It's the first Friday weekend in the new month of November. Welcome to the program. This is Frontier Opening Bell with me, Bosin Amofaye. Let's get started. The Nigerian market bucked that big jump of 1.2% on Wednesday to go back into negative territory of 0.1% on the back of Geregu Power Generation PLC shares, which was down on Thursday. That bucked that trend. It's been one single day gain so far this week. The market has been nail-biting despite earnings that we've seen so far from cement companies to banks and a few others, including those in the agro-allied industry. That's the Nigerian market. For the BRVM, it was down 35 basis points back to 200 level reading on the composite, while the Egyptian market finished off the week with 18 basis points on Thursday. Cairo will resume trading on Sunday. On the NSE, that's the Nairobi stock market, it was a downturn of 0.1%. In next door Uganda, as well as Tanzania, the markets were down on Thursday. The GSE fell as well, 1.60%, the biggest exchange on the continent is 6,046. On the back of that declining in sentiment, bullish sentiment by global investors. Of course, the GSE has the strongest correlation with emerging markets and developed economies and markets around the world on the continent. Get that all in. Let's look into East Africa's big stories. And the big news coming through this morning was that the pilots of Kenya Airways will be going on strike effective tomorrow, November the 5th at 0600 in the morning. The pilots of the Kenya Air Troubled Airline says they are going on strike despite a court order that restrained them from doing so. Thousands of folks who are flying in and out of Kenya as tourists will be highly impacted if the pilots walk out 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, November the 5th. Keep that in mind. In the meantime, Kenya inflation came in at 9.6% for the month of October, the highest since the month of May of 2017. The revenue agency is looking to about 5.2 billion shillings from inflation taxes. The Kenya revenue agents are also now expected to wear body cameras to ensure that there are no corrupt practices among the tax agents. That's a contract that has been awarded worth billions of shillings, by the way. In the meantime, the Kenya's Capital Market Authority, your version of the SEC, says it's looking at a waiver of about 0.12% charges to boost day trading, which was recently introduced by the Nairobi Securities Exchange. Tanzania is looking at export of cashew nuts to the United States, looking at value addition to increase the level of those products to the world's number one economy. And Uganda fuel imports up 18% in the 2022-2023 period and forcing a drop in petrol prices in Kampala. Let's see East African headlines this Friday. Let's check in with West Africa and Nigeria, by the way, because the Africa Investment Forum, which started on Wednesday, will be wrapping up effectively today. Yesterday, there were a whole lot of talks about competitiveness and the risk factors in doing business and investment in Africa. Sovereign World Fund conversation. The look for the AIF Marketplace 2020, so under the umbrella of the EFDB Group, is to cross more than $100 billion. We are expected to get a final briefing later today when that conference come to a close in Abidjan, the Ivorian financial and economic capital. The Nigerian government is crying foul once again over this court order that says $11 billion should be paid to PNID. That was a very messy gas deal between Nigeria and this company a number of years ago. The court case has been there for a number of years. Now Nigeria is saying it's not going to pay and still appealing that particular court judgment. Total Energies marketing in Senegal reported a profit jump of about 78% in the third quarter on the back of higher oil prices, while the NSIA Bank of Cote d'Ivoire, listed on the BRVM in Abidjan, is reporting a decline in net profit in the first half of the year. That's about 4%. Let's look at Mali, which sold about 21.75 billion CFA funds in 3 years and 7-year papers, treasury bonds into the market in the current week within the French-speaking West African region. That's the market here in West Africa. Let's check in with Southern Africa. Market in Zimbabwe is looking at exports of coal to a cement-making company in China. China is the world's #1 user of coal energy. And South Africa's electricity output is now at the lowest since 2006, according to the Statistics Office in South Africa. 2022 marked the lowest year since 2006. And the IMF is warning that South Africa's Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana may have underestimated the risks that South Africa's economy faces when he gave that mini budget to the parliament last week. That's according to the IMF. And now the books have to be looked into again. That mini budget had been roundly criticized by economists and analysts in South Africa as unworkable. And finally, in Southern Africa, a UK court has fined Glencore about £276 million for distributing illegal fraud money or bribery money across Africa in private jets, which includes Cameroon, Nigeria, and a few other African countries. So we look into North Africa, where Cairo is already at the weekend. The market that will resume on Sunday, as I said earlier. Elon Musk is looking at buying 100% of Mauritania's telco, Mattel. That deal is on the table, according to sources. Elon Musk, the billionaire businessman and the owner of Tesla, now the owner and CEO of Twitter, is looking at that particular deal and has placed a call to the CEO and the owner of Mattel. And Marriott International, one of the world's largest hotel chains, says it's introducing 2 brands in Morocco and expanding its footprint in sub-Saharan Africa, looking at 30 new hotels, an additional 5,000 bedrooms across the continent between now and the year 2024. Egypt says it's posted FX reserves up about $240 million in the month of October. That's according to the central bank, by the way. And China's Omega Textile in Morocco is opening its 3rd factory in Casablanca. That's the economic and financial capital of Morocco, one of Africa's biggest economy north of the continent. You have been great. That's your Frontier opening bell. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you next time. Let's get back together on Monday. The biggest news starting over the weekend, however, is the COP27 summit, the UN climate change conference in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt, the first on the African continent. We'll follow that for you here on Frontier Africa Report. Bye for now and have a great weekend.